Francis, it's Jay from Jay Cosplay Props, and there's another episode of Jay Stuff. Today we're going to be looking at something that I made. In fact, it's the first thing that I made under my now guest Jay Cosplay banner. It's Iron Man, specifically the Iron Man Mark 7 helmet from the first Avengers, I believe. This helmet was basically a proof of concept for myself, and what I mean by that is I've done artwork all my life, but I've never branched into a 3D building thing. I mean, I've made things in the past, but not something like this, like a film helmet to scale to size to fit, and something that works. This thing doesn't have a straight surface. Everything's bowed or curved or has some sort of notch to it. Even the ones here, like the angled, and they flare out, they go thingy bobs, they indent. So it was a really good test for techniques that at the time I had no idea about. I was learning as I went, and this was the result, the first attempt. It's a very good measuring stick for me. It's something to look back on because this is how I started. I mean, the thing isn't symmetrical by any means. The jaw is completely mismatched and shifted. There's a few other things that bug me, like for whatever reason I didn't cut the helmet flush, so it rises up on these axes here, and I don't know why I did that at the time. Again, this is all stuff that I was learning. It was a complete learning process, and by the end of this I had a really good idea, at least I thought at the time, of how to build something like this, make a mould of it, and I've improved greatly since then. This is just a thing that I look back on to show where I came from and where my skill set was just 4 years ago. I want to go back at some point and make another one of these, knowing what I know now, using the paints that I can use now and knowing the supplies that I can get now, and just seeing the difference. And I might do that since it's my 5 years, official 5 years next year, just to see how that turns out and just compare the two. And I think that'd be a nice little exercise for myself, and again, it's something else that I can look back on and probably in another 5 years and say, this is where I was 10 years ago, this is where I was 5 years ago, and so on. When I put this together, it's not techniques that I'd use now. I've learned so many other things. I mean, the helmet is just held together with a makeshift hinge, the way the eyes fit and everything. I would never do it this way now. But it's just a good reminder of where I came from, and it's something that I look back on. It just sits at the top of my cabinet there, guarding my game room. So yeah, it's a nice little thing to have around, if nothing else. So yeah, that's it really. Don't forget to like, favourite, and subscribe, do all the social media stuff. Let me know if there's anything you want me to look at in the future. If you've got any recommendations for me to get anything that you think would be really interesting to me and something that I could review on the show, let me know, and I'm sure I'll look into it, certainly. But until then, I'll see you all again next time. It's been Jay Cosplay. Bye.